What is up, guys? Welcome to episode 4 of this F1 2019 career mode. We're here in Baku, the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, for what is usually the most exciting race of the season. And finally, our updates have come. They're working. They'll be put on the car, and hopefully we can make good use of them. We are now 8th? 10? Yep, 8th. 8th, there we go. Good maths. Quick maths. We're now 8th in the performance race, if that makes sense. So let's see what we can do. I'll be honest with you guys, we struggled so bad around here. We have got a really poor setup. Our straight line speed isn't great. I believe that's just down to the wear of our components at the moment. So gonna have to probably get some new components after this race. While we try and get a good position. You can see we're up to P5, and then followed that by it's actually down to P20. Which is insane though. They just kept improving, and go for our second run. We improved a little bit coming in down the start for this race. You can see we're not picking up that much time on the straights, and it's only good for P19. A third or final lap, we're only like a 10th up, and Raikkonen was the one that was behind. Now we're just ahead, and we didn't even improve, and we just locked up for good measure. So we couldn't even set another time if we wanted. So we're starting from the back of the grid. At this point, we might as well just take a brand new component of everything. Might as well get fresh stuff for the rest of the season. If you're plumb last, you might as well take advantage. New gearbox, new ICE, new turbo, new everything. Just because probably won't make much of a difference, but for now. But later on in the season, will give us that availability to go back to stuff, use new components and stuff like that. But horrifically out of position this Grand Prix. We're going to try and do what we can to get in the points. With with the new turbo and all that, with the new ICE, that should help. But it's going to be difficult to see. Lewis Hamilton on pole position once again. Vettel and Leclerc, they're really struggling so far. I have to see what they can do. Verstappen and Gasly P5 and 6. Perez in the Q3 for another attempt, which is fantastic. But Butler, star qualifying P9. Lucas Weber P12. George Russell P14. That is fantastic. There you go. Lance Stroll in P17 with the penalty. And then obviously ourselves in P20. Kimi Raikkonen having back-to-back P19. So he's really struggling so far this season with his qualifying. But that's our race strategy. And we're ready to go here in Azerbaijan. Make up as many positions as possible on this first lap. And see what we can do from last. We are underway now. And you can see Kimi Raikkonen got a much better start than us. But at the same time, that was probably one of the best starts we've had all season. Whether that or because it's such a short run. We're going to go all the way down the inside. And we're actually going to end up making one position after that massive lunge. That was probably on Kimi Raikkonen. We're going to go into turn 2, another big lunge. We're only going to pick off one position. That's Kimi, who is also fighting back, coming down one of the biggest straights on this track for sure. We got the job done on Kimi, which is fantastic for us. We got George Russell, I believe, just ahead of us. Oh no, Robert Kubica, apologies, just ahead of us. And it's going to be interesting to see if we can pick him off into this corner. With all these right-handers, it'll be easy to pick off maybe one car here, one car there, and see what we can do. We've got Lando Norris now, one of our fellow compatriots from the United Kingdom, just seeing what we can do around this track. It's incredibly close. He doesn't get a great exit off of that right-hander, so we're going to see if we can maybe nip down his inside at this very tight corner. We don't want to be going side by side through the castle section, so luckily for us, he actually backs off and gives us the run. We've got Lance Stroll just ahead of us now. We're going to go all the way around the outside of Lance Stroll. We have the McLaren, I believe that is of Devon, but no, it's Lucas Weber, sorry. I can't even see the car. Lucas Weber now just ahead of us. He'll be our next target, but Stroll's actually going to come back at us just a little bit here, but managed to get that position done into turn 1. Lucas Weber is our next person. We're going to go all the way to the right hand side. We're going to maybe move to the left and to the right, and job done. No messing about there. We got past Lucas Weber, first time of asking. We're looking at Pierre Gasly at this point in time. You can see on the left hand side, he's actually got damage to his front wing, which is to be really detrimental to his race, especially around here at least. He's going to need that. He's behind the racing point. We're battling alongside with Hulkenberg, who's got an awful exit on the run down to this long straight. We're going to push him all the way to the outside. We've got Russell battling with Ricciardo here, and Ricciardo's actually going to lose the position to us because he just absolutely muscled out, and it was very close, very almost into the wall-ish if Ricciardo had to close that door, but luckily for us he didn't. We're going to make massive gains on George Russell. Didn't expect to be held up by him too long, and we're into P11. which, considering where we started, is a good start. But up front, you can see the Mercedes flash past. Sebastian Vettel and Bottas are absolutely going at it. They've been going at it side by side for the longest time. Same with Leclerc and Vettel. But just ahead of us, we've got Romain Grosjean, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that could be Pierre Gasly. It is indeed. So Gasly, I said, was struggling. He was up in he was in P7, but now he's all the way down here in P9. So Gasly really struggling. We're getting a bit tangled up here with Romain Grosjean. We've gone around the outside a few cars in that corner. We kind of like that. But yeah, Grosjean got a much better exit after we got a little bit twisted and tangled up on his car. We're going to have to dive it down to the inside. It's going to be incredibly difficult. We lock our tyre, but we managed just to hold it off. And as I said about Leclerc and Verstappen actually driving side by side for a lot of the track, they're actually going to go past the start-finish straight in just a second. Leclerc ahead of Verstappen at this point, but that battle will obviously continue for the rest of the Grand Prix. We're now trying to get past Gasly. We finally caught back up to him, go to the left-hand side. Probably didn't expect that. Expects me to go to the right-hand side and stuff like that. We lock a tyre going there, but this guy, Hamilton, is just absolutely... He's just checked out. He's so far ahead. No one's actually going to end up catching him, but we actually made a little mistake coming in to the start-finish straight. It's ironic because, you know, we had a little bit of front wing damage already, and they wouldn't have changed it otherwise. So it's actually kind of a good thing that we clipped that inside wall and then obviously bounced to the outside. We actually lost our front wing, which will make it a little bit easier for the rest of the race. You know, they're going to change our front wing, where before, you know, you'd just be left with half a front wing for the rest of the race. I feel like that's what's going to happen to Gasly, and Gasly's just going to drop down, which would be good for us because this will be the second race on the row that, you know, we're outperforming Pierre in the sister car. And, you know, if we could steam and see, that would be even better. But Toro Rosso boys do a fantastic job during that pit stop. We're going to have to make up some time. Obviously, you know, we lost quite a bit to the cars that already pitted or will pit, just for the fact of we had to change our front wing. Go around the outside of Kubica. Bottas and Vettel back at it again, battling side by side, go around the outside of each other. We'll have to see at the end of the race who ends up coming out on top. This battle will be just going side by side everywhere. It's insane. That's why Hamilton's probably so far ahead at this point. But when we come through here, you can see we're going to get past a gaggle of cars in the pit lane. Grosjean would be the next one who is ahead. So we've lost quite a bit of time if you look. Probably lost about 4 or 5 seconds, as you'd probably expect with the front wing. But, you know, we're already on lap 22, so we've taken an incredible long time to catch up. You know, obviously on these tyres, we probably weren't performing that good. But, you know, we've just been chugging away, getting there, and we've finally made up the space. And, you know, the gap it probably shouldn't be here, but, you know, we had a silly mistake with our front wing. So we managed to get past Grosjean, and the next car ahead is Butler himself. So he's battling with, I believe it's Kevin Magnussen. And coming into this tight left-hander, they're actually going to go side by side through here, which is fantastic for us because we're going to be able to catch up that little bit more quicker. And if we're lucky, if they continue side by side, we might actually get past them down the start-finish straight. And it looks like it's going to almost push Magnussen wide. I think they're a little bit smart. Yeah, they didn't go side by side through here. That would be insane if they did that. But we are going to claim so much time over them, hand over fist. You can see we're already almost onto the back of Devon Butler down the start-finish straight. This is for, I believe, P7, so that'd be a fantastic turnaround. P20 to P7, you can see Butler goes to the left, we'll go to the right, past Magnussen and Butler into turn 1, and that is going to be a slam dunk overtake. But note, we snatch a break, we're going to be in a lot of trouble here on the exit. Grosjean actually just Magnussen, so I actually just chucked it up the inside of Butler there. We're going to lock it up once again. It's going to get really close. We tried this on Grosjean and it didn't work, but this time it worked on Magnussen. He gave us a bit more space, so thank you very much there to K-Mag. And we're actually going to come home P7 after all that drama. So definitely the upgrades have helped for sure, and getting the new power unit and stuff like that definitely helped between qualifying and the race. We definitely had a lot more pace in the race than we did in qualifying, you know, with the gearbox and the IC and stuff like that. But, you know, overall it was a solid drive. I definitely got a lot more comfortable with the circuit during the race. Like I was able to learn a few more tricks and ways to get around a lot more quicker than obviously in qualifying. Qualifying I struggled, if you couldn't tell. But you know, as a whole, it was a fantastic race. I'll tell you what was quite interesting actually was actually, I believe Charles is actually on the podium as opposed to Sebastian Vettel. So it'll be interesting to see who got the other spot there. But yeah, you know, as a whole, it was pretty good. Yeah, there you go. Charles, that's interesting. That Charles got a P3 instead of Vettel. Either way, Vettel put him in next to pit stop for something or other. But Hamilton again winning. Mercedes another 1-2. I think they've had 2 1-2s now, and then, you know, 2 1-3s. But Mercedes absolutely dominating it at this point. It's very similar to real life in this case. You'd probably expect maybe Fry to make up some time, hopefully soon. That way, you know, we ain't got to worry too much about this championship getting stale. But yeah, all the way down there, Gasly having another shocker, absolutely shocking Grand Prix. And you know, it's what it is. We were doing pretty well ourselves. We had a massive comeback, but at the end of every Grand Prix, we have to go for some interviews from Claire, and gonna have to see if she's actually nice to us today. Wants to insult us, but she's alright, I guess.
Good day today. Let's have your take on it. That was a pretty close finish with your old F2 rival. You two are pretty competitive, aren't you?
Yeah, considering where we started, if we was higher up, then, you know, probably would be quite a way ahead of him. But, you know, it's good to have that, you know, rivalry between us and being competitive. And I sound like a boring cunt.
You were cutting your way through the field during the race.
Oh yeah, it was difficult starting all the way from the back, but you know, it was good to actually get past them. Good overtakes from us all around, especially locking up into turn 1, getting past Magnussen in turn 2 along the back straight. It was actually quite fun, to be fair.
Safe to say you're smashing everyone's expectations, isn't it?
Oh, I had to make up for yesterday's qualifying, but you know, it's no secret. Obviously, we know we got a few components from brand new. We might as well take the penalties here. We're already starting from the back of the grid, so you know, it just makes sense. But yeah, it was fantastic, to be fair. It was good fun trying to catch up.
It looks like you've really been focusing on research and development this season.
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes it doesn't go our way. Some upgrades fail. Some obviously come through without a problem. In this case, I feel like they helped, but at the same time, they didn't help us in qualifying. So maybe it's not that much of a difference or an upgrade, but obviously moving forward, when the big upgrades come, that's what we'll be looking forward to.
Great. Well, that's everything.
Well, that's it. That is the Azerbaijan Grand Prix over. Mixed emotions for myself, having an awful qualifying as well as a good race, to say the least. It was quite fun, and obviously good to get some points and stuff like that. But definitely confusing in terms of where the performance went in qualifying. Qualifying is not my strong suit by any means, but at the same time, you know, it's nice to know where it is. Reputation goes up, but the best part, contract negotiations. Now, this threw me off a little bit negotiating my contract. So, you know, obviously, what the one thing you're going to want to get is maximum race bonus. That's the one thing you want. Looking at my value on the contract, so I'm going to bump it up a little bit. I'm going to move it up to a few positions. I'm going to move this up to level 3. Bump this up and just see what we can do, really. And lose that level 1. We're going to negotiate. And apparently that contract was awful, according to this. So, you know, maybe we should have extended it a little bit more, but I don't know. But that's been it for this video, guys. If you have enjoyed it, please slap a like on it. If you're new around here, please subscribe for regular Formula 1 content. We're posting these out relatively frequent, to be fair. It's probably the most for a while, like every day or every 2 days or stuff like that. But until then, guys, take care. Bye-bye.